So Chapter 5 Season 2 is less than a week away now, and in this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how you can find your perfect controller setting so you don't miss any shots while also having insane mechanics and piece control. But before we start, I'm going to be giving away a Chapter 5 Season 2 Battle Pass. To enter the giveaway, all you have to do is comment your username, and at the end of the month, I'm going to pick 3 random people to win it, so anybody has a chance to win. Anyways, now let's get on with the video. So there's a few things you can do to find your perfect sensitivity. To start out, if you're a complete beginner to Fortnite, what I would suggest doing is copying all of my sensitivities, which should be on screen right about now. And what you can do is go into an aim training app like this one and raise or lower your look and ADS sensitivity depending on if your aim feels too slow or too fast. I think my settings are pretty much perfect for beginners right now. 43% look speed feels perfect for me on linear, and a lot of you guys agree with me in the comments, so I don't think I'm ever going to be changing my look sensitivity. And quickly before we continue, if you're used to a certain build and edit mode sensitivity but you don't like your look speed, I'm gonna put the calculation on screen right now that lets you change your look speed while also keeping your build speed the same. It's pretty simple since the build and edit mode speed are just multipliers of your look sensitivity. So a lower look speed usually means a higher build speed and vice versa. Okay, so if you're used to playing on the basic settings, this part is for you. What you're going to want to do is turn advanced options on and copy from basic. What this is going to do is copy your current basic sensitivity into the advanced settings. What you want to do after this is turn off all of your boosts as well as look dampening time, because this makes you play inconsistently. Then what you want to do is work up or down from your current sensitivity by doing basically the same thing as I told you before until it feels comfortable. It's important for me to mention that I would highly recommend playing on linear if you aren't that good or if you just started playing, since it's technically the more optimal look input curve. But if you're already decent or even good with your aim and mechanics on exponential, then there's really no point in switching. There's a lot of good pros on exponential settings, and at the end of the day, whatever settings make you play better will be better for you. Okay, so for your binds, first you need to find your most comfortable buttons to press and set them to your most important binds, which I'll be listing out in a moment. However, before doing anything, it's important to mention that a lot of binds are easier to press on certain controllers. For example, the touchpad bind on the PS5 controller is nice and big. However, on the Xbox controller, it's just this little button right here that is pretty difficult to press. So don't copy someone else's binds just because they're good at the game. So first of all, the best controller for you to use is definitely the PS5 controller. But for the sake of the video, I'm going to be helping you guys find the best binds for you no matter what controller you use and whether you have paddles or play claw or neither. So first, for non-claw, non-paddle players, this is going to be very difficult for you since you're very limited, but the easiest binds for you to press will be the left stick and right stick. No matter what controller you use, these are the 2 easiest buttons to press. But if you use a PS5 controller, 3 more buttons will be easier to press, those being the bottom D-pad and the right D-pad, since they're super close to the movement stick, and the touchpad, since you can easily slide your finger over to the touchpad. For people who use paddles or play claw, I don't really have to go over this because you have pretty much access to any binds you want, basically all of the face buttons as well as any of the buttons I previously mentioned. And now that I've established your important and easy to press keybinds, I'm now going to assign them to different in-game options to show you guys which options are more important and which should be assigned to your easy to press buttons on your controller. So the 3 most important binds to assign, in my opinion, are jump, switch to build mode, and switch to edit mode. It's important that build and edit mode are separate because you don't want to hold down a certain button to edit and switch to your build mode. For these 3 binds, I would set my right stick to jump, basically just swapping my crouch and jump binds. Then I would set my build mode and edit mode to either touchpad or left stick. So if the build mode is left stick, the touchpad would be edit, and vice versa. However, sadly for Xbox controller players, you won't be able to set the touchpad as a bind, which means you're missing out on one bind. Since editing is more important than building, in my opinion, I would set B as switch mode and then my left stick as edit. The issue with this is that you have to move your thumb off of the right stick, and that's not really ideal. But if you don't want to play claw or paddles and play on a crap box controller, then this is pretty much what you're stuck with. Now onto some more important binds that aren't as important as the previous ones but are still pretty important. These 3 buttons are tactical sprint, crouch, and pickaxe. These binds, like I said, are obviously important, but it's okay if you have to move your finger or do something a little bit more inconvenient to press them. If I were playing without paddles or playing claw, I would set my bottom D-pad as pickaxe since I can just slide my finger to it, and right D-pad as my sprint since I can do pretty much the same thing for that. You can also just slide your top finger down like this if you're more comfortable doing that. Sadly, your crouch bind will have to be X or A, which means you will have to move your finger to press it, but it's honestly one of the less important binds unless you want incredible movement, so you don't really need to worry too much. And of course, as always, since the left stick is for some reason above the D-pad on the X-Crap controller, you won't be able to do any of this. This video is basically me just dissing the Xbox controller, and for a good reason. It's just fucking terrible. Now for the claw and paddle players, I shouldn't even really need to go over the binds for you guys because all of the advice I gave for the non-claw, non-paddle players, you can just copy and then set whatever is more difficult to press on a paddle or your face buttons. So like the bottom D-pad and the right D-pad, you can just set to any face bind. There's really so much more you can do with playing claw or paddles, and my best advice is to just set whatever binds you feel most comfortable to press to least comfortable in this order: jump, edit mode, build mode, pickaxe, tactical sprint, and crouch, and then so on. Those 6 binds are really the core mechanics of the game, and things like reloading or aiming and switching weapons shouldn't be changed because they're already pretty good as they are. And since I've gone over all of the controller settings, I say the best thing to do once you've got them all set is to just go into different creative maps and practice for a bit, and then go in game, either public games or ranked depending on how confident you feel. It doesn't matter how good you get in 1v1s or aim maps or in creative in general, because once you're put into a situation where you have to deal with multiple players at once and in a generally more stressful situation, you will fold under pressure after all of that creative practice. So make sure you get put in those stressful situations, as it's the #1 way to improve on controller or keyboard or literally anything in life. If you found this advice useful, let me know in the comments, and also let me know if I missed something important. And before ending this video, I also want to let you guys know that I'm going to be streaming almost every day at 6 p.m. EST. So if you enjoy my content on YouTube, you're probably going to enjoy my streams as well, since you can just interact with me in my chat live at twitch.tv Gravelson6. Anyways, that's the end of the video. I'll see you guys next week.